Good morning. It is a beautiful, sunny, nice day out. Dad needs a ride back to the tractor. The other day when I was scooping dirt, I left the tractor back in the woods there, kind of where the dirt pile was, and then he went and got it and put the forks on it and used it for scooping some logs up, and it's still back in the woods. So he wants to ride to go get that, so I'm going to take him back there. I'm going to go see some seed customers here probably this morning. And we've got some other stuff to work on with some of our radios, Midland Radios. I got some more stuff that I needed, and we're going to get some of that installed. We'll see what else is going on today. I might do some spraying this afternoon, maybe. Got this area cleaned up pretty good here. Got a little more dirt shaping he wants to do when it dries up, but it's too wet now, so I don't know what he's gonna do with the tractor, but he must need it somewhere. My windshield, man. Brock drove through a mud puddle yesterday and splashed it all over. You're killing me, man. You're killing me. It's alright, we'll get it cleaned up. I have not gotten any wheat to treat today. I'm dropping those stakes off that Brock got straightened yesterday. Man, I'm being really mean to him today, aren't you? You guys are going to give me heck for picking on Brock, and he's not even here. Nice, it's fine. They will work. We'll get that sign put up pretty soon. I'm not having a formal field day here like I have done in the past. The whole COVID stuff kind of shut that down, and I just haven't resurrected it because we never had that great a turnout anyway. But don't look in this room. See this one here? All nice and clean and picked up. This one, not so much. But over here in this corner, I've got a really nice framed big golden harvest sign. That's what those stakes are for. So we're going to put that up here later this week, because next week, one day, I've kind of put it out there to all of my seed customers and people that I'm gonna just be here around the warehouse, treating seed, doing stuff, working, and anybody that wants to stop out at any point throughout the day and walk through the corn and bean plots out here is welcome and free to do so. So we're gonna get it ready for a field day-ish, but not a formal field day. It's kind of the plan, I guess. So anyway, if you are local and you're interested in Golden Harvest seeds, shoot me an email. I'll give you some details. All right, we are back, and we've got a radio to go install. So we're just gonna take the whole box, and I'll explain when we get to where we're going. Okay, so we have here an MXT 500. This is the new radio from Midland, and I'm going to use this not to replace one that is already in a tractor where I have the 400s, because I don't really need them. We're going to use this as kind of a base station here in our grain shed. So the way we've been doing stuff now is Phil carries a little handheld around on his hip. They sometimes work, they sometimes don't. The batteries die on them. They don't have very good range. And so what I am going to do is use this one that's supposed to have super awesome, outstanding range. We're going to probably build ourselves a little shelf and put it right up here and mount it here as a base. And we've got an antenna mount that we can run outside. This should work, I think. My biggest question mark is how much are those things going to affect our ability to get signal that way. So the higher up we can get our antenna, the better. I just don't know how long our cable is and whether we can get up to the top of a bin or something like that. But we're going to see what we can do, and we're going to try it, and then we'll do some range testing with it, and we'll go from there. Now, in order to use this 12-volt powered radio in a building with 110-volt plug, we needed this. This is a power supply that will convert it to 12 volts, well, 13.9 or whatever it is, I don't know. But got a nice on-off switch that'll turn everything on and off. So we're just gonna, like I said, we're just gonna mount it all right up there, I think. Then I just got to figure out how to get an antenna out. And it might involve drilling through our caulked hole up here. Okay, well, funny thing, I know somebody that has a pile of wood that we can use to make shelves, so we have a shelf. We just have to attach it to the wall into the cabinet. So I got these cleats. We're gonna put them up there like so, and yeah, we got it. We'll get it. One shelf. Now, is this the most professional, perfect shelf you've ever seen? No, but look at where we are, right? It will hold a radio just fine. And right next to Dad's homemade cabinet from 1987. Yeah, we did all right. So now this piece can sit there like so, and this piece can sit right on top of it. Check it out. It works. Got a nice little holder there. And I don't know if this is good or bad, because I was thinking you're gonna have to turn it off with the power switch here, right? But that plug is switched because it's where our lights are plugged into. So anytime you turn the lights on or off, the radio goes on or off. That'll be perfect. Now we have to figure out how to get an antenna cable out of this hole next to our conduit. I don't really want to have to drill a new hole because it's concrete block walls. So that's not super easy to do. But when we come out here, you think there's enough caulking in there that we can take a drill bit and drill through it, and we don't need a very big hole to get our cable through, so we'll make it work. Well, I got a wire through the wall. Let's see if we can pull this one through. Well, I'm gonna need a bigger hole. This is proving to be more difficult than I wanted it to be. We may have to drill through the block. I took the end off, so it's not like we're trying to push this big, huge end through there. It's just the little one on the cable, but I can't bend a hook in it. It's got it taped up right now. You can't see it, but I can't bend a hook in it because then it'll be too wide to go through there. So we're gonna have to. I think we'll just come over here and drill our own. Phil is taking the truck and trailer to the truck shop because apparently the ABS light's on or something. I don't know. He needs a ride, so I gotta go pick him up. Okay, we're back from picking up Phil. We've still got to get a hole in our wall for this wire to get through. So I've got a hammer drill bit. See if we can do it, I guess. It's I'd rather drill from the outside than the inside, but I would like to come out right here. So we just need to be about 4 or 5 inches from that. We'll go right there. It is amazing what the right tool for the job will do. This is concrete block, right? I expected it to be that thick and then hollow and then that thick again, and it was not. It's solid. And my little Milwaukee on hammer drill mode didn't work. This one, however, eats right through it. It's gotta be about through, and then there's plywood in there. We made it. And since it's solid, it was even easy to push wire through. See, I figured I was gonna drill here, and then I'm like, oh, it's probably got a wall like, about that thick, and then it would be hollow. It was not hollow. There we go. We'll have to get a handheld and we can test it, but I'm sure that it will work. The question is, how far will it work from? But Phil could always hear us on the handhelds when he was here from the field. He just couldn't talk to us because the handhelds don't have enough transmitting power to get it to us. So this should work. We got a set of these handheld X-Talkers, so we'll get these out, put the battery in them, see if it's charged, and then we can at least test and make sure that the radio works at short range. I am switching the antennas out, putting the ghost antenna on the combine here. We also have one of those on the 8RX, and I believe on the 8R, I have to check, it might have one of these. I'm not sure what the decibel rating is, because the Ghost is a -3 or 3 or however they rate them. But this one is certainly better than what came with that radio that we just installed. So we're gonna go put that one on there and help increase its range. They do also have a 6 dB antenna that we could get, and put on there, and it's just longer, bigger, that would work as well. Seems like if I just coin it right and touch the metal on the bin, I might make the whole bin an antenna, right? Wouldn't that work? Well, it works. Com check. See? And it works the other way. Com check. Yeah. You get feedback is what you get, but it is working. Which one do you think will work better? The stock one? Or this one? Well, if I walk outside just enough. Com check, com check, com check. Yep, they work. I also have a external antenna, or not antenna, external speaker that if I needed to or wanted to, we could mount it right out here somewhere so that hopefully you can hear when you're outside dumping trucks and stuff and everything's running and it's louder. I don't know if that's totally necessary. It's not like Phil has to be in constant communication with us all the time, but it is nice to be able to get a hold of each other quickly and not have to use cell phones. So that's what the Midland Radios are nice for, is that it's instant communication. Okay, I have loaded up on some Golden Harvest paperwork. We're gonna go try and find a couple of customers. I really need to spend a lot of time doing this over the next 2.5 weeks because we have our first order deadline, middle of September, and it is expensive to not order by then. So we gotta get this stuff going, and I feel like I can't show up the day before the deadline, tell my customer, hey, it's time to order seed. I've got to go and prep them for that. And so that's what I'm trying to do now, is just letting everybody know, hey, this is coming up. I need you to think about it. Let's put something together. We can always modify stuff later, but so that's what we're doing. And I'm probably gonna spend most of the rest of the afternoon at it, but we'll see how it goes. I have made it to our other farm here, Berkey, and just wanted to walk out here, look at the beans a little bit. When we were here a week or two ago with Wade, a week and a half ago, I guess. They just don't look super impressive, but they were wet then. We couldn't walk out in here very good, so let's walk out into the field, get into the main part, and see what they look like. You can tell these ones got blown over a little bit too, like I was talking about on some of ours yesterday. They're just leaning, but they are popping back up. They're mid-thigh height on me. They're not super tall, but there is some pods up here, and they're starting to fill out. They don't look as bad as I thought the other day. Let me pull a plant out. Yeah, I mean, they're not great. They're not horrible. Got a fair number of pods down low. The nodes are relatively close together. There's a 4-bean pod, so that's good. They're getting some size to them. The problem here that I see is that, we've only got 2 pods on that node, 2 pods on that node, 3, but 2 2-beaners on that node. There's just not very many of them, and it takes a lot of nodes, or a lot of, they got to add up in order for that to matter, or to make good beans. I'd like to see 4 to 6 pods on a node, not 2. That's why I'm just a little, I don't know. I'm not so convinced that our beans are going to be great this year, but we will see. They are reaching maturity. You can see some leaves starting to lighten up. These are 2 5s, so they're relatively early maturity for us. We've got some 2 2s back up to Waldron that are definitely can start to see the yellow patches in the field. So we're getting closer to harvest. So the other thing I wanted to do was come down here and look at this. We've got a new fan and burner for our one dryer down here. Nice. So they're supposed to come hopefully sometime this week and get this thing installed, but this is a LP burner with a big motor and fan on there to dry corn, put it for our grain dryer. So once they get this installed on the platform, then Dad mostly and I have got a little bit of wiring and work to do to get it hooked up. So that burner will replace the one up there on that. So we have these top dry bins here. Basically there's a floor on the top of that bin that holds some corn up there. We blow hot air in underneath it, it goes up through it and drives the moisture out of the grain. Both of these 2 bins are top dries. That one's much newer, and the motor, the fan is on the ground with the duct hold. Putting it up there. This one was put up in the late 80s, 89 I believe, and the fan is up there. It still runs. Everything is fine on it. It's just it runs on 220 volts, and we were having some issues with tripping a main breaker out there at the breaker panel by the house, and that's a problem. And so, rather than, I think the breaker is the problem on it because it's super old, and rather than investigating and trying to fix that, we said, well, let's just take it off of the electrical grid and use our generator, because we power our grain systems both here and at Waldron with a generator. This one, we've got a generator sitting right there, and it works really, really well. We have our reasons for doing that. We'll talk about it when we get in closer to harvest a little bit, but anyway, so we can run 480 volt or 460 volt three-phase instead of 240 single phase. And so that fan is getting replaced with the one in the barn. The whole fan burner combo unit is coming down. If anybody happens to be interested in a 30 plus year old burner fan that works, there's nothing wrong with it, it works, let me know. We'll sell it to you. But they're gonna come out and crane that one down, which is gonna be a little difficult with that guy cable there. That cable might have to come down in order to get that out of there. And then they're gonna put the new one up, and then Dad and I will get it plumbed up with the gas line and the electrical and the control circuits and all of that stuff. So right now it's coming out of this shed where our electrical stuff is. Right here is our breaker panel. So one of those is the dryer fan burner right there. So that's a 100 amp breaker, and this is the control panel that controls it, and you set the grain temperature, and there's some timers and stuff. So we're going to move this stuff into our new grain shed and eliminate the wires that are coming over to here and push them over into the new grain shed where we work and test our grain and control everything, so that it's much easier to get to and keep an eye on and watch it. And yeah, so that's maybe next week's plan. Anyway, back to seeing seed customers. I'm back. We're not super successful today. I found one person that I needed to talk to and stopped at 4 or 5 other places and didn't find anybody. So you win some days, you lose some. It's all right. I dropped off some paperwork to a couple people. Yeah, it'll be fine. The sprayer has moved, so I assume that Dad got his spraying done. We're spraying some wheat stubble with some Roundup 2,4-D to kill the weeds in the volunteer wheat. They're supposed to get our chicken litter spread maybe tomorrow, and that would let us start some tillage work. So we might start some tillage work tomorrow. Well, that'd be fun. Also, you see that? Phil got some of our wheat stuff ready to go, so we can start treating some of our own seed wheat. Yeah, we'll get to that. Maybe tomorrow. What's today's? Wednesday. Maybe Friday. Maybe next week. I don't know, but we'll get to it. For now, though, we're gonna spend the rest of the afternoon doing some scouting. We need to go check some fields. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna start going back over where Dad's been moving dirt, or cutting trees down by those woods back over there, and check in with him, and then we'll go take a look around. We do have a bean field right up here. I'll show you in a minute. They're early maturing beans they're maturing. So that's good. See those beans? See there's some light spots up on the ridges especially. Those are 2.2s that are starting towards harvest. So I would estimate we're 4 weeks out, which puts us just after the 20th. 25th of September. Oh, there's a plane flying over there, pretty low. But we're getting there, but not quite as early as I had thought it might be. Yeah, he's over here cleaning up some of the stuff that he's dug off of this side. They, like I said, they might come spot our chicken litter, so we gotta get this cleaned up a little bit and push it back out of the way. Yeah, he's got some piling to do. Anyway, this is as good a place as any to start looking at corn, so let's jump out into here. This was the very first field of corn we planted. We got a split planter with 108 and 111 days. So we'll walk out a few planter passes to get off of the edges and this kind of stuff. into the actual part of the field and see where we're at, where our milk line's at, maturity wise, what the plants look like. Let's just see. All right, this field was planted the 22nd of April. We have got the split right here, so we are 108 day on this side, 111 day on this side. From here, looking up at the plants, not a whole lot of difference. Maybe a little better green color on the 111 day, but relatively minor. Just looking at the roots, I can see some differences. So you're looking at the nodal roots, or the brace roots as we call them here, going down. And I mean, it's not a huge crown. You don't have roots way up high. That's just genetics. This one here, the roots look a little bit bigger. They start up just a little higher, but look at all of these branching off of those roots that we can see on this one. And we can't see any of that over here. Just a difference. Not saying good or bad, just a difference. As far as leaf tissue goes, pretty healthy. Pretty healthy. We'll look a little closer here. There's the occasional tar spot speck. We've got one right there, but nothing overly concerning. I don't know what this edge is dying off on these plants for, or what's causing that. It almost looks like a northern cornleaf blight lesion. But I don't see a whole lot of anything that I am concerned about out here. And we are to the point now that it's too late for tar spot to do any damage, come in and really affect this stuff. Really any leaf diseases. We've made it, basically. So let's take a look at some ears that right here don't look overly impressive, but let's look. All right, well, we pulled some ears back and seeing some interesting differences. One, these are much girthier ears. We've got a lot more rows around on the 108 day, and they look decent. We do have some tip back on all of those ears. You can see that. This side, the 111, we have much less tip back, a lot longer but skinnier ears, but also looks really good. Concerning things on both of these. On the 108 day, you see how these cobs are turning pink? Yeah, that's not good. And they're super soft and mushy and basically moldy. The husks are sort of tight on some of these. And it's trapping moisture in there, and it's making the end of the ears rot, and that is not good. That's where ear molds and quality issues can quickly become a problem. Now, it's not on all of them. This one here's, it's moist, but it's not moldy yet. Same thing over here. So hopefully, as this stuff continues to mature and dries down, we lose some of that tightness to these husks. They open up and allow this ear to breathe, because that could cause major issues in a hurry. On the other side here, we don't see that. We didn't get the tip back for one, so we don't have the moldy tips. However, this hybrid does not have an Agrosure Viptera trait, and so we have some feeding from insects. We have some western bean cutworm feeding. A little bit on this one. Didn't do a ton of damage, but it opens it up for infection and for disease and molds to start. And more significantly on this one, we had some, and it's actually causing some of those kernels to sprout right on the ear already. That's concerning as well. And you can see we got a worm right there. Not good. Now that is not a western bean cutworm. I don't know what it is. A secondary pest that's forming after we've already caused the damage from the western bean cutworm, I believe. If I had to pick one of these two right now, this one here is going to be the winner, but that's good corn. Now let's break an ear apart and we'll see where we're at maturity-wise, or, maturity-wise. All right, starting with the 108 day here, and you look at that and you think, dang, that looks like really good corn. You can see our milk line right there, the difference between the darker and the lighter on the kernels. I would call it 50%, close to it. Get off me. But just deep kernels, 20 around on this ear, that looks really good. Okay, now contrast that with what I would have said was better before the 111 day. Here's our ear on that. It's only 14 around. We've got a milk line, maybe not quite as far, call it 2/3 milk line. But there's the difference in those two. Now, bigger, wider kernels, but not as deep and not as many rows. So, I don't know, toss up here. Good corn, but I'm not sure which one's going to win, and we've got some potential issues yet. I just walked over one row. I was just searching this one now here, and look at all that tar spot, and this leaf is dying off. So it's here. Got it on this one pretty bad. Again, too late to really be concerned about, not going to cause devastating issues here. But if these plants die off a little bit prematurely, could cause some standability issues. So at this point, our corn crop is basically made. We've got enough moisture left to finish these ears out, and there's not anything I can do to make it better corn than what's here. But we still have a lot of potential perils and risks with ear molds and rots and insect feeding and standability issues and that kind of stuff. So that's why now it's a race to harvest. So get it to finish and dry down and get it in the bin before it disappears on us. Okay, we are in our 103-day candy corn variety. Gonna take a look, and you can see how much farther along this one is just from how much the husks are drying down. We'll peel an ear back and take a look, but it definitely looks farther along, so that's good. Pretty healthy. And we got something going on there, I don't know. This hybrid is not one of our healthiest hybrids from a genetic resistance standpoint, so I expect to see disease in it, but we did spray a fungicide on it to protect it, and it appears to have done a pretty good job. There's a northern corn leaf blight. There's another one. So it's not perfect, but it's not bad. It made it. Now that is what corn should look like on an ear. Dang, beautiful color, just gorgeous looking stuff. You can see can you guys see it if I get it zoomed in just right? The moisture they're just sopping wet. That's moisture driving out of those kernels. This stuff is maturing. It's beginning to dry down and getting close to harvest. That's awesome. It's awesome. So they're not super big or round ears, but them are solid. These are really good test weight hybrid, good quality corn. So I think this is going to be good. Let's see where our milk line's at. I knew that was going to happen. Look at that. So the milk line will always be on the top half of the ear when you look at that one. So over here, and it's very, very defined on this ear from the almost white to the dark orange there. 50%. I don't know that we're going to make it first half of September. Today's the 31st of August. So, but this will be September harvested corn. I can almost assure you of that, as long as we get an opportunity to do it, because the stalks on this are not very good, and I'm not going to risk leaving it stand out here any longer than necessary. But yeah, it looks good. This hybrid has got some monster ear flex. You give it some space where you get a skip or like an endro here, and geez, oh Pete, does that thing put an ear on. That is huge. All right, we've got a few things to check out in this field. We've got two different hybrids out here, and I want to go find the split and compare those, but we're going to sneak down the property line here because my corn was planted April 30th. I think I was in here planting this when I got rained out a little bit. The neighbor there planted in June, like the 7th of June. And we're not gonna call them out or anything, but I just want to compare. I want to see what the difference is in the June versus April planted corn. Okay, this is on our side of the line, and this is that hybrid that we had that silk balling issue with, and you can kind of still see it here. The silks are all just twisted up. The tips of the ears didn't pollinate. Not really that uncommon or that bad of an ear, just there's definitely a genetic issue here. But I mean, that's a good ear. I'll take that. This one does not have Viptera, which is the trait that protects us from western bean cutworm. So we've got some ear feeding there and a little sprout on this one, same as what we saw in that last field. Just 1 out of the 6 here, where it was 2 in the last one, but that's just luck of the draw, right? So not bad corn by any means. That's a really nice ear. We will take that every time. Ugh, that's a lot of rows. There's a milk line. This is 107 day. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 around. I mean, maybe it's going to yield through its issues. I don't know. It looks really good. I'm quite happy with that. We will see. Okay, now I walked a few rows into the neighbor's field. I have no idea the brand, maturity, or anything about this corn. I just want to look. It's brown silk. I mean, it's well past pollination, but those ears are not super fat yet, and we're a lot greener. The plants are not shutting down. There's some gray leaf spot here, more here.
I didn't see any tar spot, but I'm sure I can find it if I look hard enough. Oh yeah, right there. Is that one? Probably. Right there. So is the tar spot going to come into this later corn before it gets finished and hurt it more? I don't know. It's possible. It's not here yet. I mean, those are nice ears. They just have a long ways to go. This is sweet corn stage, maybe a little past that. It's just immature. You got a lot of filling out to do. You can see how small the depth of those kernels is. I think that's what's going to cost them more so, is that we just don't have time to get big, deep, fat kernels that the April planted corn does. So, and the ears look good. It's just a matter of whether they've got time to finish. We'll see. Okay, we're back in our field in that other hybrid now. This one's 106 day that's new for 23. I had just a few bags of it to plant this spring. Honestly, what I've seen from it so far and some of the yield data from previous years, it doesn't really look like a player for us. Maybe on super tough acres, but it just doesn't have the top end yield potential that we need. So we'll take a look. We don't have a lot of it here, but we've got enough for a decent side-by-side to compare and at least get a feel for it. Healthy plant. It's very green, much healthier than the other stuff, and that wasn't that bad. It just, we don't see the nitrogen deficiency here like we were seeing on the other stuff. So I like that. Well, I might be surprised. I mean, those are long ears. This actually looks halfway decent. Look at the roots on them. Jeez, oh Pete. I mean, on paper, it's the hybrid that fits for our area. I just haven't seen the yield potential out of it that I would like to. But boy, it sure looks nice here. Might surprise us. It's in the plot. We'll get another look at it there. We've got a side-by-side here with that 107 day that I'm shying away from. So maybe this replaces it and it gives me a halfway decent option. I don't mind that. Milk line's a little harder to see here, but it's about right there. About the same as what the 107 was, 2/3 to 3/4 or something like that. Hey, you never know till the combine rolls. I mean, that's why we go and look, because we want to get a good idea, but you just don't know until you get there. Now I hear gunshots, and generally people think shooting at an empty field is perfectly okay. But I'm out here, so we're going to get the heck out of here. Okay, time to put up a giant sign. So we're putting those stakes that Brock straightened for me in the ground. Hopefully they're in the right spot. There you go. How about that? Oh, that looks nice. After I put my sign up, I was driving around my lawn and looking at all the rocks, so I decided I better pick them up. So I picked a load of rocks. Now we're perfect. All right, I want to put the sprayer back in here. It's getting awfully late in the year to be spraying weeds, but we've got weeds and I want them to die for revenge purposes. So we're gonna put it in and we're gonna mix some stuff up and spray some weeds. Probably not spray too much today because, well, it's getting late and it's windy and I'm tired. But we'll at least get it ready to go. All right, well, there's that. This may be short-lived that it stays in there, though, because this weekend is Labor Day, and my sisters are coming home, which means there will be lots of cousins here, and lots of gator rides need to be given, so we may want it out of there before that. So we'll probably do some spraying tomorrow and Friday, and we'll get it out of there and put it back on the shelf, winterize it, be done with it. When that little thing stops spinning, XL Seed should be live. Almost live. Okay, well, by the time you're seeing this, hopefully it's live. I forgot to wrap it up. Thanks for watching today. Check the description. There's more links and stuff in there than there has been. That XL Seeds website is indeed live. I'm working on one for Border View Farms. And yeah, we'll see you guys again in the morning.